Hello everybody and welcome to the jungle. My name is Baloo, and here on this channel we keep crypto simple. We use the Wyckoff method. We look at price, we look at volume, and we limit our exposure to indicators. So in today's video we have a very interesting indicator that we're going to be paying attention to. Like I just mentioned, we don't really use indicators, but a lot of the market is looking at this one Bitcoin topping indicator, the Pi cycle indicator. So a lot of people are freaking out. They're thinking, you know, well, every time this indicator flashes a top, we have a bear market. And we're gonna dive in and see if we can kind of determine if maybe this time is different. Those are dangerous words to kind of take too seriously, but we're gonna dive in regardless. So for those who are unfamiliar, let's just dive into the charts here. Let's go ahead, and we're here looking at Bitcoin on the daily. So let me just make it a little bit bigger here. And the indicator that we are talking about is the Pi cycle indicator. Pi. What's going on, Fuzzer Man? Pi cycle indicator. We have a market cycle top according to this indicator. You know, it's important to realize that you know, indicators, they're not solid. You know, they're not you know, they shouldn't be taken as gospel. They are simply tools to help you interpret charts and help you kind of make decisions on strength and make decisions on entries and exits. They're not a guarantee. Just because you have a bullish cross doesn't mean it will be followed by a bullish move. Just because you have a bearish cross does not mean that it will be followed by a bearish move. So here we are. We're looking at the Pi cycle top indicator, and we're in a very healthy ascending triangle formation. You know, we're butt up against the $60,000 to $62,000 resistance, and we are making higher lows throughout this consolidation. Me personally, I think that this indicator is complete garbage. It was kind of built in hindsight. It was built after the fact. It was actually created this cycle to be able to predict the top, and I'm not giving it much value whatsoever. So for those who are following this and kind of thinking, well, you know, I'm going to do this, that, and the other when the Pi cycle crosses, you got to let price tell you what to do. You have to let the market tell you what to do. We have not broken market structure. We have not made a lower low. We are continually making higher highs. There's really nothing to be worried about. Yeah, Pi cycle indicator will be forgotten in a month. I think you're very right, Crypto Contrarian. And, you know, there's so many people talking about the Pi cycle that maybe there's a lot of money, or maybe there's a lot of take profits, you know, people trying to front run this idea. Maybe there's a lot of people that aren't interested in entering because, oh, the Pi cycle is going to cross. So when this indicator becomes invalidated, I think it's just going to bring permission to the space and bring permission to some of the newer investors to be like, okay, guys, it's not going to go down. So jump in. It may have been controlling a lot of the FOMO for some people, and now that this, in my eyes, is potentially going to be invalidated, we're going to see a relaxation and ease and you know, releasing of funds and you know, looking between the couch cushions to add liquidity to the space. So me personally, not worried about it. And you know, nothing on this channel is financial advice, but you know, just because you have two moving averages cross, it honestly doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean, you know, Apple, you know, if Apple's looking to buy Bitcoin, they're not looking at these moving averages saying, oh, there's going to be a cross. You know, Tesla wasn't looking at this cross. Like, nobody who actually understands market cycles and understands a bull market and understands sentiment and understands adoption and development is looking at any of this stuff. So we keep it very simple. We look at the price. That's enough of the Pi cycle. I don't want to dwell on it too much. If you've been worried, I wouldn't. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum just printed a new high. Woohoo! We got a new high on Ethereum. We are battling quite a bit. We are battling quite a bit to break through this area of resistance here. But the consolidation is very clean. The consolidation is very healthy. We're ready for a breakout. I don't know when that breakout is going to occur, but I'm ready. Ethereum's ready. I think the market is ready to see a breakout. So there is kind of an interesting event that another trader brought to my attention, and that is April 14th is going to be the public listing of Coinbase on the US stock exchange. What that is going to do for the crypto space, I don't know. Is it going to add legitimacy to allowing people to invest? Is it going to add legitimacy to Coinbase? Is it going to allow kind of more conservative investors to trust Coinbase and go and buy some actual spot Bitcoin? Only time will tell. It's only 2 days away now, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But we're looking like we want to break out. I think that this is, you know, a lot of comparisons have been made against the previous 2013-2014 cycle, calling the double top, the two-wave cycle. Let's go to the BLX real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And if we go to the 3-day, we'll go on log scale. Remind me to change that back. But yeah, the 2013-2014, we had a two-wave cycle. Let me just zoom in here and show you what I'm talking about. So there was a wave one that came with a very huge correction, approximately, I think it was 70% from tip to tip. Yeah, it was 80% retracement. And then we had another wave. I think that this is where we are in the cycle. I think that, you know, we are at this consolidation right here. And what we got for a dip was a 30% dip, not an 80% dip. That's my own speculation. But, oh, sorry, not there. Back here. The peak of the two waves. So there was the, oh no, this is 2011. No, yeah, it is this right here. So, you know, we had a bulk of the wave right here, and we're going to probably set up for another one. How long the market will remain intact, the bull market, I don't know, but I do know what a top looks like. So, you know, if anybody's telling you that they can actually call the top, they're lying. So don't listen to anybody that says that they can call the top. What you can do is you can start harvesting profits. You know, you want to kind of, you know, realize some of those gains on this side of the market. And then when the market shifts and you have those confirmations, that bearish confirmation to the downside, then you can start to think about hedging positions. Then you can start thinking about scaling out and some other things that you can do as well to kind of, endure the bear market. So for me, I'm really not worried. I'm actually excited. I think that this next impulse is going to kind of trigger the mania phase for the market. We've seen some pretty incredible gains in a lot of altcoins thus far, but there's been winners and losers. And what happens in the mania phase is everybody's a winner. You know, everything kind of goes up. It's kind of like that .com bubble effect. Like if you have a website .com, people are going to throw money at it because they don't have time to really dive into the fundamentals and try to understand. They just know that the market is moving quickly and they want to gain exposure. So they FOMO in. And I don't think that we have seen that in terms of retail. You know, CNBC is not talking about Bitcoin like they were back in 2017 during the 2017 mania phase. Long story short, I think there's more upside, and we're just waiting for that confirmation of a breakout. So let's catch up with the chat here. Bicycle top is poop emoji. I agree with you, Jose. Keep it simple, stupid. Always keep it simple. You know, people, we really get lost in the TA. And I say this often, you know, TA is not a crystal ball. It's not going to tell you anything. All it's going to do is allow you to make decisions. So, you know, just because you have indicators on a chart, that doesn't actually apply selling pressure. If you have bearish indicators on a chart, if you have a bearish divergence on the RSI, if you have a bearish MACD cross, if you have a bearish this, a bearish that, there's no actual sell pressure applied when you see that bearishness other than the traders. Now, if retail is coming in, retail is not traders. So their demand aspect is very much so poised to be able to outperform or absorb a lot of the supply that comes in from the traders. The traders are typically going to be the first ones to sell, and retail is just FOMOing in. They got to get in. So there's significant indicators that demand is very much so in control in this market right now. The trend is your friend till it ends. Okay, Bitcoin ETH is coiling up to do something big, up or down. Ethereum Bitcoin, I'm very excited for Ethereum Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and take a look at that chart, because it's a really, man,
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, sorry, Siri.
Please repeat it?
I wasn't talking to you, Siri. I was talking to the jungle dwellers. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it. ETH, let's just go over here and type it in. ETH BTC. I've been watching the 3-day chart on this one, and we have a beautiful accumulation pattern here. There's definitely something that says that we could take a move down here, but you know, we're butt up against resistance on this accumulation channel right here. For those who don't know, I practice the Wyckoff method. It's basically analyzing strength of an asset between a line of resistance and a line of support, a trading range. And we look at the volume and we look at the structure of the candles to determine if supply is in control or if demand is in control. And if you're interested in learning this method, I encourage you to join the links down below, come into our community and sign up for VIP. We've got a fantastic community, really supportive group of traders who are dedicated to teaching you how to trade. You know, we share our ideas, we share our charts, we share our setups, but the biggest feedback that I get from my community is just the educational aspect. And it's really important for you to learn how to self-custody your portfolio and manage your portfolio from a macro perspective so that you're able to generate wealth. And wealth generation takes time. It happens year over year, cycle over cycle. We can learn how to trade, but you know, it's all about accumulating assets and really capitalizing on the market cycles that really kind of change your life. So if you're interested, join down below. Huzzah, One Crypto. Hello, how's it going? Yeah, so we're looking at, it's a bottoming pattern. We have a pretty clear bottoming pattern when we compare Ethereum to Bitcoin. What we need to do to really trigger this event and trigger a markup event in terms of a lot of liquidity leaving Bitcoin and going into Ethereum is we need to break this high right here. Trend analysis. So if we can get a clean break above, we'll call it 45,000 Satoshis. If we can get a clean break above that and hold, we're off to the races with Ethereum, and we can, our next major resistance is up at around 0.08 BTC per Ethereum, which is nothing to sniff at or nothing to sneeze at. That's a big deal. So, you know, we're watching this chart. We're keeping an eye on it. It looks like a very clear bottoming pattern. We have this kind of megaphone pattern leaving the accumulation. This is another bullish sign. We have this LPS that has held right here. We're bouncing off of that into resistance. We're just waiting for those breakout confirmations, which I think we're gonna get. Ethereum looks really poised for a move here. I've actually opened up some call options a few days ago, maybe a week ago now. But yeah, I have a few call options on Ethereum because I think it's gonna go up. So that is, thanks for the, for calling out on that one. Good chart, good chart. I marked up alt BT to USDT and it's looking good. Could you give your opinion? ALBT. ALBT, relatively new, at least on Bitfinex. I'm sure there's a longer chart somewhere. I'm also on the 3-day. Go to the daily. Alliance block token. Let's take a look at it on ETH. Okay. Yeah, it's accumulating on the Ethereum pair. Oh no, this is Tether. This is Tether. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're in an accumulation right now. So what we're gonna want is we need a break out of this area right here. We can just draw a channel on it. So we're up against resistance currently. Looking like we got a little dip down. It's looking really healthy. We're working out some of the supply. You can see the amount of supply that came in right here as we jammed up against the resistance. So we may come back down and test around the area of the creek line here. Let me just highlight that. Somewhere right there. So we may come and sit down somewhere around 80 cents, somewhere around there before we get our nice push to the upside after that. But yeah, it's looking really good. We're making, did we make a new high? No, we didn't quite make a new high, but structurally it's looking good. We do have some supply, so we're going to have to see if we can take another run at the resistance and measure how much volume comes in on that second run. If it's more, then we're going to need to consolidate longer. If it's less, then we might be ready to go. One. Oh man, I mean, one's gone, dude. If you're in, congratulations. But if you're looking to get in, I think it's a shit project personally. I think it is a pump and dump. It's yeah, it's in a downtrend. So this downtrend will not stop until we get some sort of indication of support being built. You know, the last area of supply, you can see the amount of supply that came in over here. So somewhere in this area is likely a support range. So let's kind of mark off this area. I don't know, we can go candle close to. We don't know because it's just currently in a downtrend. There was some demand that came in over here, but this trend will continue until we get to our seller's climax. It's a grind down. If you were in and you didn't take profits, I still think you're, I mean, you got to have a trading plan when you get into these things, but it's not something that I'm looking to get into. Well, me personally, I'm not looking to get into it at all. But if you are looking to get into this project, I would wait for support to be built. Currently, we're in a downtrend. Trend is your friend until it ends. There's no entry point. It's very risky, and this can very well just keep heading to lower levels. Yeah, it's still in phase A of the accumulation. It's downtrend. It'll just keep going. So as far as the accumulation, you've got a lot of time to make a decision on this one. It's nowhere near. ATM price has dropped almost 50%. Don't discredit, you know, quality projects. A lot of you guys, you always want the micro caps, you know. There's so much risk associated with these coins. You can make a lot of money, but if you don't lock it in, it's gone. You really, you know, if you're investing in this space, if you're not a high frequency trader, you should stick with the higher cap stuff that actually has true value, good teams, a lot of backing. Yeah, the market cap's bigger, but that doesn't mean that it can't go up in value by a lot. You know, these micro caps, they might pump one day and then boom, it's all gone, and it may never come back. You got to be really careful with this kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks like we had a break of this kind of cup and handle-ish formation. Got above, we're kind of holding as support currently. If we get a clean break above here, I think you could take a position, but this is a very illiquid coin. This is not a high cap coin at all. What is this thing? ATM. Looks like a shit coin to me. Oh, this is NFT stuff. Guys, NFT's done for now. It's going to reaccumulate. All the NFT stuff's done for now. It's going to reaccumulate for a very long time. Market cap, we don't even know. Circulating supply, 10 million. Yeah, I'm not interested in anything in the NFT space right now. I wasn't when it was hot, and I'm not right now either. The technology is really cool, but the space is completely, like ridiculously overheated. And it's going to take time to accumulate on that. If you are going to take positions, just make sure that they're small. I would not be throwing anything of substantial value at something like this right now. It's just not worth it. Oh, hot. So you guys are not rotating. You know, a lot of these already pumped, and they're in a local downtrend. You need to wait for a trend to develop. You know, we have a buyer's climax and we're waiting for a seller's climax. It's not there yet. So You know, we could very well come down to like this level right here, which is a huge retracement. I think that holochain's kind of a shit project personally. I don't like the whole like hardware having to, the hardware node thing. I don't know, I don't get it. It's not a blockchain. It's not, I just don't like it. Heading down. BZRX. BZRX. Jesus, you gotta be kidding me. What is this? Can't be right. Can't be right. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah, so this one's looking a lot better. You know, this is kind of a bottoming pattern. This is more of a cup and handle. This is, you know, trending in the right direction. We have a little bit of a line. We have a line of support here, leaving the bottom. You know, keeping it pretty simple. We've got a general line of support heading up. We kind of have a cup and handle type thing. We're seeing a lot of cup and handles right now. I'm sure you have realized that I talk a lot about cup and handles. It's just because we're seeing a ton of them. We're seeing a lot of cup and handles. Don't know why, but it's just, that's the part of the cycle we're in. We're seeing a ton of cup and handles. So these are bottoming patterns, and it's looking like it wants to leave. Finding support currently. Demand, it's not a clean read because we don't have a ton of volume, I'm assuming, on this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at BZRX. $24-hour trading volume, 48 million. Okay, so that's like barely the minimum that I like to trade. You know, 50 million is a good kind of 24-hour trading volume for any asset, so it's right there at the minimum. Market cap 115 million, so not bad. Fully diluted valuation is more than that, so that's good. Yeah, this one's looking good. I like this. Out of all the ones that we just looked at, all those garbage coins, this is the nicest garbage coin I've seen. So I think that this one's in a position that's got a nice support slash resistance flip, a clean, you know, the demand may not be showing up in the volume very cleanly, but it's showing up in the ascending nature of the lows. You know, demand steps in before we reach an area of support. So it creates that higher low structure. H bar looked like it has another run in it. Well, I don't ever try to predict. We can take a look at the strength, but you know, the entire crypto space does potentially have another run in it. H bar, it had a nice run. It had a very nice run. What was the percentage gains? You know, currently from the buy signal up 350%. Yeah, I mean, it's flagging currently, so it's a kind of a nice clean consolidation. A lot of people like Hedera hash graph. I don't personally know what it does, but we do have kind of a flag formation here. We can draw that like this. So as long as we're inside of this channel, I think that things look pretty good. The volume is declining, so very low volume on this automatic reaction, which is kind of interesting. Usually you want to see high volume on the reaction. For whatever reason, there wasn't, so that could kind of be a bearish sign, because there's no stopping action. Either that, or it's just not a lot of large market participation. Me personally, I like to play with the whales play, and if the whales aren't playing in that coin, I don't care about it. So for this one, I mean, it doesn't have a huge amount of large institutional market participation. This is kind of a retail thing, not sure. Yeah, there's just weird anomalies in the volume. Yeah, but you know, the consolidation is nice. We could very much so break out. I'm not interested personally. SXP is looking good. SXP, that one's a clean, very, you know, simple chart to kind of take a look at. It's broken out of a kind of a cup and handle formation. We've got our sign of strength. We made a new high and we're coming down to rest on top of support. So we'll probably have a nice little short consolidation down here at around $4, $4.50, something like that. And then watch for the turnaround. Watch for the turnaround on that one. SXP's gonna go. I think that this is one that's got some potential behind it. A lot of people hate SXP. A lot of people got really burned on SXP, and now this SXP is just ready to add insult to injury because they sold the bottom, and now it's gonna pump to like $20 or something ridiculous. CRO did a very good move, fundamentally speaking, by removing the amount of coins, CRO tokens that they needed to stake in order to use their crypto debit card, and they just changed it to a dollar amount. So, you know, the volatility of the coin is kind of decorrelated from the purchase of the plan for the credit card, which is a good move. So let's see what's going on in the charts because it's been a while. Tired, need my coffee. Coffee. What do we got? OKX? Sure, why not? Man, what a wild chart. Just wild. What a roller coaster. Trying to hodl this thing is ridiculous. Yeah, it's not clean. You know, when things aren't clean, like I don't get married to projects here. You know, I look for technical setups. When I see a technical setup, then I dive into the fundamentals. And if I align with the fundamentals, or if I can see, because you know we're in the speculative stage. You know, early on in the bear market, you didn't even really need to look at the fundamentals as much because you could get purely technical plays. But now, as retail enters, retail doesn't know how to do TA, so you do have to dive into the story. You have to dive into what is the story that is being sold here. So that's kind of where the demand can be interpreted on the fundamental side. But if I don't have a clean technical setup, I don't even bother. You know, there's 6,000 coins. I'll find another opportunity somewhere else. CRO, to me, it just looks too yucky. Looks too yucky for me to kind of want to get into. There is kind of a trend here. You know, we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high. So do we need to come back down for a higher low? It's pretty volatile. I don't have a clean answer for you on this one. I wish you all the best. When I don't know, you know, when in doubt, I sit it out, and not interested in this one. Total 2. Are we going to see a correction in the alts soon? Why do you say that? Suarez, tell me what you're talking about here. We are just getting going, in my opinion. I am the most bullish bear on the internet. ERG is a very promising project, closely linked to Cardano. Initial price was around $12, but now around 290 USD right now. ERG. So closely linked to Cardano. I hate Cardano. I don't hate Cardano. I'm just kind of trying to get. So it's not even a ticker anywhere. So that's a red flag. That's a no-go for me. You know, you need the traders. You need them. As much as you hate traders, you need them. I'm sorry. You know, the traders are the ones that sell. The traders are the ones that short. So in a lot of circumstances, they go against your beliefs on the fundamental side. But the traders also bring the money. They bring the liquidity. I don't even see it anywhere. Okay, Ergo. Market cap 95 million, not bad. 24-hour trading volume is pitiful, disgusting, and it's because nobody's trading it. There's no traders here. No traders. You can speculate on this, but I don't need to do TA to speculate. If you want to speculate, speculate. Go ahead. You don't need TA for that, though. Any predictions on how much Coinbase's stock will debut at? No clue. So I hold stocks but I don't trade stocks, and I'm not plugged in to that market. You know, I'm not interested in being super exposed to that market. I mean, there's a couple stocks that I like. You know, I like Disney and I like Apple because I'm obsessed with Disney and I'm obsessed with Apple. So that's it. That's it for me in stocks. You know, like I don't get into it much. So yeah. I have no idea. And when it does come out, I will probably not buy it. What happens to alts if Bitcoin makes a break to the upside? So that's a very contextual question. It's a very good question. It really depends on where you are in the market. So I'm sure I can tell by your question that you've kind of been around. You're not super new to the space, because there's definitely variables in what's going on with you know, Bitcoin and its relationship to altcoins. Early in the cycle, when Bitcoin pumps, altcoins dump. USD pairs, Bitcoin pairs, it doesn't matter, they dump. Then we get to a point in the cycle where Bitcoin leads and altcoins just kind of mellow out and don't do anything. And then later on, when Bitcoin consolidates, the altcoins catch up. And then I think we're entering the space now, we're entering the stage now where Bitcoin grants permission to invest in everything. So if Bitcoin starts to take off, everything's going to start taking off. And then when we get to the later end of the market, you know, we're going to have it where altcoins lead, Bitcoin, it's everything will go up. Everything will be in the mania phase, and you know, you can draw a triangle anywhere and it'll break bullish. But we're not quite there yet. So what do I speculate on? Because I have no confirmation, I have no data in the charts, but what I do speculate on is if Bitcoin pumps, I think altcoins are going to pump too. And the reason I think that is because the bullish setups are so strong on the altcoins that we're at a point now where it's just a question of market health. So if Bitcoin starts pumping, the market is healthy. If the market is healthy, everything goes up. That's kind of my interpretation of what I'm going to be looking for. So I think that we're getting to that spot where everything kind of goes up. Aave. Let's take a look at Aave. Aave is a big player, okay? Aave is a really big player. It had a huge move, but what I like about Aave is it's becoming one of the dominant, it's becoming one of the leaders in the space. So it's a very important protocol. You know, lending is a huge sector, huge sector. And with Aave's consolidation here, it's very much so correlated with Bitcoin's consolidation. It's correlated with Ethereum's consolidation. It's correlated with Chainlink's consolidation. All of the big players are in consolidation right now. They're in reaccumulation. Aave's no different. If those start pumping, I think Aave is going to start pumping because the fundamentals on Aave are so strong and the demand is so strong on Aave. It's getting a nice move right now. We don't have enough of a confirmation to say that this area right here is ready to kind of break out some of the highs. So we are still in a local consolidation. We're just going to have to wait and see. If you do get a touch, if you see Aave at around $350, I think that that's a good buy, and anything below that is in the value zone. So if you can kind of get any, you know, if you can get it down at this low here at around $300, that's an incredible buy. But for right now, we don't have confirmation that this will break out anytime soon. Okay, I've got half hour left before I gotta hop into the virtual classroom. For those who want to take their trading to the next level, if you want to be able to invest in this market through the lens of a trader, understanding market cycles, understanding where you are, and not just, you know, the simple approach that so many retail traders take. It's like, where do I buy and where do I sell? It's a lot more complicated than that. Your portfolio is a whole thing. It's a whole thing that needs to be considered from many different angles, and you as an investor need to accumulate assets. And how you accumulate assets is you buy them and you hold them. Now, the volatility aspect can be reduced by taking profits, but it's not an all or nothing thing. So if you want a little bit of mentorship, if you want to be in a community that really focuses not only on really strong technical setups and really strong investment setups, then but focuses on your portfolio and you growing wealth, generational wealth, you know, cyclical wealth, then join VIP. We focus a lot on mindset. Mindset is so important. You know, these are just candles, guys. These are just candles and lines. Don't get lost in it. Don't get lost in the candles and lines. There's technical setups and we can measure strength, but you know, it's what you do with this information that makes you a trader. It's not the setup that makes you a trader. It's not being able to see the setup that makes you a trader. It's what you do with the TA. D-hedge. So D-hedge has been recently put onto my radar. It's got a really clean channel. Really clean channel on D-hedge. It's not very liquid on OKX, I guess. Let's go to Poloniex and see. Yeah, what's going on here? D-hedge, come on. Let's go with Huobi. All right, well, it's not super liquid, but it's in a very clean channel. You know, when things are simple, just keep them simple. We've got a very nice ascending channel here. We're at the bottom of the channel. It's technically a buy. You know, we're in the buy zone right now. You wouldn't buy at the top. You only buy at the bottom. This should continue. This trend is your friend until it ends. Don't go all in. This is not something that you need to throw a lot of money at. It's a very low cap coin. Low cap coins come with a lot of risk. So you need to mitigate that risk with position sizing, because you can't even mitigate risk with stop losses because they're so volatile as well. You'll just get stopped out and lose money, and what's the point in that? You're far better off limiting risk with position sizes on stuff like this. So it looks good. You know, keep it simple, man. It's in an ascending channel. Serve WR just joined. What are your thoughts on ETH? They got a 1,000% upside this year. Are they worth a buy now and a hold long term? I think there is still a potential. Now, it's too bullish. It's too bullish to form a trading plan around that. You know, we're talking about a $20,000 Ethereum. That is too bullish of a price target to create any sort of trading plan around. But do I think it's possible? Yes. I do think that it is technically possible, but you're not going to get a single bit of strategy. You're not going to get a single take profit. You're not going to get anything from me that is incorporating those targets as price objectives. It's going to be much more conservative than that. And there's going to be what, you know, we call them moon runners. You know, you take profits here, you take profits here, you take profits there, and then you leave a position for the moon. You leave a moon runner. So, you know, I do think it's possible, but, you know, it shouldn't be a target. I'm really bullish on Ethereum, though. So maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm blind. So to hold for the long term, you know, the smart contract thing is definitely a variable. Ethereum is the first mover. Ethereum and you know, it's got the most market participation. It's got the most interest. It's just a matter of, you know, if there is a better way of doing things, are they going to switch? They're moving to ETH 2.0. There's things that we can take into consideration with ETH 2.0. How are some of these other protocols going to kind of communicate with one another? I dove into the fundamentals a little bit on Solana. I don't hold any Solana, but I think that Solana's got a very interesting take on how they handle their consensus by basically decentralizing a form of time and time stamping every transaction. That's a huge deal because it will help with the double spend problem without having to carry all the data of a full blockchain. So there's very interesting ideas that are popping up. Whether they all come together, I don't know. So long term, for me, long term is Bitcoin. You know, it's still Bitcoin. You know, if Bitcoin goes to $300,000 this year, not saying it will, but I'm saying if it does, that is going to be cycle low to cycle high 100x. You gotta be okay with that. Okay, people thinking that you can't make money in Bitcoin is ridiculous. You can make so much money in this space. Can you gamble on alts and make quicker gains? Sure. But if you know, it's always such a risk. For me, I find it so much less of a risk for me to put, you know, good amounts of capital, like really good amounts of capital on Bitcoin and wait than to do something speculative where the future is uncertain. I don't believe at all that Bitcoin is going anywhere. So for that reason, you know, that's my alpha. That's the one that I want to hold. So even Ethereum, as much as I love Ethereum, I think that there is still questions associated with Ethereum, and will it be the winner as far as smart contracts, as far as a DEX? We don't know. I'm still really bullish on it though. If Bitcoin takes off, it will leave alts in the dust. So with a strong move from BTC, I would think alts would either consolidate or correct, with everyone dumping the money in BTC to catch the uptrain. Retail doesn't want BTC for the most part. You know, more savvy investors and high net worth individuals want Bitcoin. Retail thinks it's too expensive and they don't want to buy it. You know, especially when there's alternatives, and you got to understand the hype cycle. So the part of the hype cycle is, you know, I tell two friends and they tell two friends and they tell two friends and they tell two friends. Are any of those people saying buy Bitcoin? For the most part, no. They're like, dude, I'm making money in this. Dude, I'm making money in this. Don't worry about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's too slow. Like, Bitcoin is going to be the permission. You know, we're rallying in Bitcoin. All right, let's go. Everybody invest in your favorite pet project, whatever it is. Paid network. Didn't that one shit the bed? Not enough information. I'll just keep this one really simple. I mean, we have, I guess, an uptrend. You can buy dips, but there's nothing, you know. From a technical standpoint, there's no setup here. It's just slowly going up. So I don't know, maybe it just continues to slowly go up, but I don't have anything that's telling me strength. I don't have anything that's telling me weakness. I got nothing. We've already had a hell of an alt cycle, I know. But believe me, it's I believe that there's more fuel in the tank. And it's the network effect, you know, it's the hype cycle. It's people telling other people how much money they're making in crypto that's going to be the flood coming in, and we don't have that. I have a good understanding of kind of the mentality of people that enter, specifically my group, because they enter kind of on the defensive. They're wondering where you have to sell, where you have to take profits. I still get a lot of people joining my group and they're like, all right, where's the study material? Where do I need to start? I got to start learning this, that, and the other. That is not hype mentality. You know, apologies in advance to those who are in my group, because when the hype cycle comes in, you're going to have people that come in and they're like, what coin do I buy? What coin do I buy? What coin do I buy? I'm going to do my best to kind of quell that noise. But you know, we're not there yet. And we're going to have a lot of people just FOMOing in, not giving a crap about educating themselves, not giving a crap about what a good entry is, not going to give a crap about any of that. The fact that we have people, A, scared that we're at a top, and B, willing to educate themselves is enough information for me to determine that we're not at the top, because we have too many responsible people right now. Yeah, very well may be with ERG there, Jay Snow knows. The thing is, you know, if you can't chart it, you're not going to get the traders there. So I'm not saying it's a crap project. I'm saying if I can't chart it, I don't care. And that's just me. You know, I have my own parameters in place. I have my own risk metrics, and I have my own stuff that I use to kind of capitalize on this market. If you truly believe in the fundamentals, I would say go for it. Just know that that's venture capital. And how venture capital works is you're submitting to the fact that you don't know. It's very much so a seed stage investment. Now, the upside to being right on venture capital, the upside of being right on seed stage, is you do not need a lot of money to see crazy increases. A typical VC play is, I have $100,000. Now I'm talking about, big players like actual traditional finance venture capitalists. I have $100,000. I want to invest in 100 startups, and they put $1,000 in every single one. If 99% of those fail, but they win on one, that $100,000 investment on that one company that actually makes it turns out to be over $1 million. That's the asymmetry of these VC plays. So don't treat them the same as a normal trade. A normal trade, you got to be convicted. You got to know that there's, strength behind it. And you also need to realize that the venture capitalists are in a ton of profit and they're willing to sell. If you're going to be a venture capitalist, it's small amounts, very small amounts, because the asymmetry is insane. Don't be greedy. Pigs get slaughtered. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. Qdom. Yeah, sorry about that, DGB. You were one of the first ones to comment. I just forgot about Qdom. Let's take a look. Yeah, we had a nice move out of Qdom here. This was one that we called in VIP right before it kind of took off. Right here was the entry. We got from our call up still 180% off of that chart there. So, it's in markup. It's entering the markup phase. So you just have to get in on the pullbacks. So wait for the pullback, wait for it to form a little bit of support, and then buy the turnaround. Once it's in markup, you can really keep it simple. Just realize that there is a potential to come all the way back down to $9. What's more likely is probably 11 to 12, but there's still, we're not building structure along the way. So when we stop building structure, we have to kind of assume that we're going to come back down to the next area where we had support built. Okay. Permaculture Ninja, if the stock market slumps or bottoms out, with the crypto space also, I would say in the current conditions, I would say yes. We're not decorrelated. We're very much so a speculative space, and I would argue that so is the stock market right now. So there's a huge influx of new retail investors that have entered the stock market ever since the invention of mobile trading apps like Robinhood and Webull and all these apps where you can you don't have to buy whole shares of something. So there's a huge aspect of speculation that are entering those spaces. They're risk-on spaces. It's not a risk-off place. So as long as the economy is doing okay, whether that's in the form of stimulus or whatever, as long as people have money, extra money that they're willing to spend, we're going to see both our market and that market continue to do well. We're still very much so correlated, in my opinion. If there's a crash in the stock market, there will be a crash in crypto. We're not there yet. But I'm excited for the day that we are at that point where we decorrelate. Because as soon as we decorrelate, if crypto starts to consistently perform well, and stocks and equity markets don't, there's going to be a huge rush of liquidity. I just don't think we're there yet. Bo, what do you think about the BNB token burn? Price is rallying. So yeah, it's news, and the price is priced in. It's rallying off of the anticipation of a token burn, thinking that higher levels are going to likely be achieved as a result of that token burn. So all of that's already priced in. What is going to cause the supply to come in is when the event occurs and the price no longer appreciates. people are going to bail. So likely what will occur is, we have a ton of demand of people trying to front run this idea, and they're buying BNB with the anticipation of higher levels after the burn. When the burn happens and the higher levels don't come because the demand is already peaked out and we don't have enough supply to allow the price appreciation, people are going to see that, and then they're going to bail because everything else is pumping, and their coin that they expected to keep going after the burn doesn't, so they're going to dump it. That's my speculation. I always like to distinguish between what I think is, a confirmation and what is a speculation. And as far as what I'm speculating on for BNB, I think it's going to kind of play out something like that. Buy the rumor, sell the news type deal. What is my opinion on PundiX after the swap? Thanks for your great work. So there's a lot of tokens, guys. I'll share the chart, but I don't have an opinion on the fundamentals, and I'm not about to dive in. It's on FTX. I like that. Guys, if you are not on FTX, I really need to get links here. FTX is dope. FTX is like the best exchange. They're very, very well set up. It's such a professional feel. If you're shopping around, or if you're just, wondering where you can go next as far as an exchange, I really like FTX. I think that those guys are dope. This the way they manage the portfolio. So I don't know what's going on here with PundiX. Can't really get a long chart on it. Let's go take a look at the naked chart on CoinGecko, because I know it's got more history than that. Oh, I guess because this is the swap. They swap chains, so that's why there's no data. That makes sense. Okay, so, I don't have enough data here. This happened, this just happened. So there's not enough data. They swapped chains 4 days ago. It looks like I don't have enough data on it, so I can't really form an opinion. Starting over. You're gonna have to rely on the fundamentals on that one. Sorry, I can't give you anything on that. My apologies. Yeah, we can take a look at GRT, and then I got to start wrapping it up, guys. I got to go to the private Zoom meeting, the virtual classroom. If you're interested in joining these classroom sessions, links are down below. FTX does require KYC. It's a centralized exchange. They all do. And it's not for Americans either. I think there is a kind of an FTX US. Yeah, not great. I really kind of feel bad for the Americans. They really just, the SCE is just trying to protect you guys, but it's like, get with the times, man. Like we gotta be crypto friendly here. The Americans just get so much bullshit with the crypto space, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think DEXs are there yet as far as truly being a good place to, rely on your capital existing long term. But the DEXs are getting there. So, it's only a matter of time where global participation is very, very easy. I anticipate next cycle, the DEXs are going to be dialed in. They're not dialed in. If you have a lot of money on DEXs, that's another thing. We may as well talk about that. If you have a lot of money on the DEX, if you have a lot of coins that aren't available on centralized exchanges, me personally, I'm going to limit my exposure to that kind of those kind of plays earlier on. I'm not going to wait for the confirmation of the bull market to be over to kind of cash in some of those trades, just because I don't think that the liquidity is available on the DEXs. So when everybody's panicking and everybody's running for the door, the DEXs are going to dry out. There's going to be no liquidity, and you're going to see meltdowns. Again, that's a speculation, but I think that we're going to see a lot of drama coming to the DEXs. So GRT, it's still consolidating. Nothing solid here. It had a big run. We got a nice little move back into the channel. Volume's pretty low. I don't really like the volume on this one. There is kind of a slight uptick to the demand, but it's not super clean. I don't think we're going to start seeing volume come in until we're up here, which is not a good thing because that's going to be in the form of supply. So we'll probably rally up to the bottom of this channel here and then get an LPS. We're going to have to see. It's not, there's no entries. If we come back down to the bottom of the channel, you could front run an idea and take a position, but there's nothing telling me that this is ready to go yet. Okay, I got a few more minutes. It's me, a Josh looking person. Oh, hey, how's it going, Josh? Mantra Dow. Ohm is just getting going. You know, it's pretty new. It had a nice rally. Yeah, we're just kind of, there's not a lot of data here. We need more data, but we do have kind of a floor, you know, and we're kind of ascending on that floor. A nice move down today wouldn't be a bad dip day to buy some Ohm, but you know, this one's going to be on the back burner for an undetermined amount of time. This can just be range bound for a while. Let's go down to the 12-hour and just kind of make it a little bit more exaggerated here. We have just this channel here, and that's it. It's just a nice channel. So we're going to be in this channel until we're not. So anytime we're at the lower end of the channel is considered a buy, and then anytime at the top is considered a sell. But I don't really do the short-term swings, even though that would be a 43% move. So it's entirely up to you how you want to play it. Yeah, it's just range bound. Not much to get into there. Saw the EOS boss doing an interview. Looks like a pretty smart dude. Yeah, I don't know who's leading EOS right now, but EOS has kind of a decent technical setup. It's coming off of its bottoming pattern. Can't figure out who's actually selling Bitcoin at this price after such a long consolidation at these levels. Well, some of it could be just coming from the futures markets. So people just hedging, you know, being uncertain, they kind of want to lock some prices in. So instead of allowing the move to instead of allowing for a downside move, they're just opening 1x long or 1x short positions to just lock in some of those profits while maintaining the full spot position exposure. So, you know, there's definitely selling pressure. What's nice about the futures markets, you know, when the futures first came to our market, you know, back in December of 2018, or no, 2017, they said they're going to tame Bitcoin. And, you know, for the duration of this bull market, we can see that they have. The futures markets have tamed Bitcoin's volatility. We still are very volatile and the asymmetry is still there. But we're not having these massive corrections. We're not. We're having like 20 to 30% corrections. So the futures markets have been doing really good. So, you know, you need to realize that the institutional investors, they do a lot of hedging. They try to limit the volatility. So they use futures and they sell just to hedge. So, yeah. Already looked at Serum. I don't have time to look at Serum. But we'll look at, we'll focus, you know what, I'm going to actually do a dedicated video on Serum. Oh, we got a lot. Guys, I don't have enough. I'm just going to pick one at random. Well, not that random. I'm just going to pick one. And I'm sorry if it's not yours. But I'm running out of time and I got to get into the virtual classroom. Okay, we're talking about mining. Okay, we actually don't. Sol, sure. I'll take a look at Sol real quick. Solana's got some pretty interesting stuff going on, gotta say. I'm definitely missed the move. So is Solana in an area of entry right now? Not a low risk entry. This is a huge extension. So we did have a setup down here. I didn't call this one, but there was people in my group calling this one out. I didn't get this, but yeah, we had a setup back here. Here was your buy. So Can you buy here? No, because there's just too much exposure to the downside. We're on an extension, so we need to see if we're going to consolidate sideways. If you know what you're doing and you know how to, trail a stop loss and you want to play it aggressively, be my guest. But as far as what we're seeing here, it's not great. It's on an extension, so you're buying. Yeah, it's kind of, it needs to reset. It's got to reset. All right, so that is all the time I have for today. Guys, if you enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. That the algorithm likes those thumbs up buttons. And if you have any projects that you want me to take a look at, leave them in the comments section down below. Go ahead and check out my website, thecryptojungle.com, and consider signing up for VIP. That is all the time. And if I got to nail in these outros, but I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you coming by the stream, and please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.